This first piece is the F major from the Selected Studies for Oboe, page 6. It is from set 1 of the All Region Music. So in the fifth measure of this piece, we start with a gruppetto, or a turn. So the turn is on an F major, and it will go up a note to G, back to F, down a note to E, and back to F. Rather than picking up all of the fingers on this hand to make this turn, you can simply leave this middle finger in place, like the fulcrum on a seesaw. So to go to G, pick up the top finger, put it back down, goes back to F, pick up the F key, that will get you to E, put it back down, and you go back to F. So for that turn, you're going F, G, F, E, F. The rhythm, because it returns to an F on beat 3, is going to be a triplet for your turn. So like this. So it comes on the and of beat 2, 1, 2, tail 3. In the next measure, you have your second turn. It is on an A, and it goes to a G sharp. So A, B, A, G sharp, A. The rhythm for this one is different because on beat 3, you go up a note to B rather than back to A. So this one comes as 30-second notes, like this. So 1, 2, da 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 da, da da. We have a number of turns throughout the piece. There's one on the third line, second measure. It is that F turn, so it's F, G, F, E, F again. However, it's the rhythm of the A turn that we just went through because it goes to G on beat 3. So it's the 30-second note rhythm instead of the triplet rhythm. So anytime it goes back to the same note on beat 3, it'll be the triplet rhythm. Anytime it goes to a new note on beat 3, it'll be the 30-second note rhythm. Looking down at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th line, we have turns again. One on G, G, A, G, F sharp, G. So for our turns, we go start on the note that's written, up a note, back to that note, down a note, back to that note. And you'll see there's a little sharp sign written underneath, so that tells you you're going to F sharp instead of F. It goes back to G on beat 3, so it's going to be the triplet rhythm. And I went ahead and played the C turn as well in that next measure, so that's C, D, C, B, C. Rather than using the full D fingering, because that can get messy to try to do quickly, putting down all your fingers at once, we use the trill key for D, and that's the second key on your right hand. If you don't have the second key, you can use this little bitty key that's right under your C key, and you'll see that it opens up the same trill key. So these are the trill keys to go from C to D, so you don't have to move all of your fingers all at once. Let's see, on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8th line, we have that same set of turns. We don't have the F sharp marked this time, but I would go ahead and play it as an F sharp. It sounds really strange as an F natural. So I would play it just the same as the one that we just did. And then in the very last line, you have another F turn, and it goes to an A on beat 3, so it's the 30-second note turn. Okay, so those are all the turns throughout the piece. I think that's the trickiest thing to learn in here. We do have high C sharps and high Ds occasionally. Remember that your high C sharp fingering, you pick up your index finger on your left hand. It's 2, 3, 1, and the C key. And to go from C sharp to D, we switch index fingers. So you put down the index finger on your left hand, but make sure the half hole is open. And you pick up the index finger on your right hand. So C sharp to D. So remember those fingerings because you'll need them throughout this piece. We have marked that it should be at about 78. It's an andante, not too quick. last measure in line number 4, because I didn't address that before I played. So we have, essentially it's very similar to a turn. The first one is an eighth note with a triplet on the second eighth note. We're using the upper F, so with the thumb key, and we use the same fingerings that we used for that turn in the very first line. So F, G, F, E, F. So we're turning around this middle finger. F, G, F, E, F. And then for the A, we go A, B flat A, G, A. So essentially, they're turns, we just don't have them on the half note. We have them, it would be a turn written on a quarter note, so it comes on the second eighth note of the beat, and they're written out. Same thing as all the other turns we've done before, except that we're not holding that first note before we move it, begin to move for the gruppetto. Sixth line, pick up to the third measure. That's where I stopped, so that's where I'll start again. So you notice the third from the bottom line. Last measure we have a fermata there. In that measure we have a rallentando. So you can take your time, you can make it as musical as you want, slow it down. Make sure that as you slow down though, you keep the rhythm. So slowing down doesn't mean that you can just play the notes any length that you want to. They still have to be proportional to each other. But they can be slowing down for the tempo. So we're starting like this. 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda. We're slowing down, so 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. So you have to keep them still proportional, but it's as if the clock is winding down, or your little wind-up toy is winding down. Okay, so I will start where I will start the third line from the bottom and keep going. So I'll do that rallentando there and then keep going. And you'll notice that at the end I put a little retard in there. Even though it's not written, it's an etude you're playing by yourself, so you can take a little license there and make it very gentle at the end. So that's the F major piece.